Hello, welcome to another video. My name's Kemal AA, and this is another Chelsea transfer news video for you guys. Where again, I'll be speaking about the European Super League. It's breaking news, of course, as we know. It broke yesterday, right before the Brighton game. Chelsea have confirmed that they will be leaving the European Super League, and they're already requesting documentation to essentially break away from that European Super League. It has been confirmed. Chelsea have released an official statement on their social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, in the early hours of this morning. It's confirmed. Of course, we knew it was going to happen last night, but the official Chelsea account have actually confirmed that. So we are leaving alongside all the rest of the top six in the Premier League. And apparently the European Super League has now been disbanded, it's been dismantled. The president of Juventus, who is one of the vice chairmen of this European Super League, Andrea Agnelli, has confirmed the European Super League cannot go ahead anymore because so many clubs have broken away. And it's been chaotic. It's been a chaotic 72 hours. It's been an absolute madness. There's a lot to get through today in regards to news. I'll be speaking about the Chelsea fan trust having no confidence in Bruce Buck, who is the chairman of Chelsea, and Guy Lawrence, who is a board member at Chelsea. Where do we go from here? Is Chelsea going to be receiving any punishment from UEFA for trying to break away into a Super League? I'll be delving into all the reports, but before I do get into it, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, comment down below your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. But without further ado, let's get straight into this news video. Now, of course, starting off with the Chelsea transfer, starting off with the Chelsea fan trust. They've called for a no confidence in the board. As you can see, it has been confirmed that Chelsea Football Club is officially withdrawing their intention to join the European Super League. Whilst this is a huge win for supporters worldwide, our fight to secure the proper future of the club will continue. The Chelsea Supporters Trust is appalled with the tone and insincerity of the statement issued by Chelsea in the early hours of this morning. We request a full and in-depth explanation as to why the board took the decision to turn their back on the European competition, and for CFC to explain why they signed to the Super League without prior consultation with their loyal supporters. We are disappointed that an apology has not been included in the statement, and the legacy of our club was put at risk for what appears to have been solely for a financial gain. The Chelsea have put little confidence in our current leadership board, calling Bruce Buck, who is a chairman of Chelsea, and of course Guy Lawrence, who is a CEO, have no faith and confidence in him, and they're calling for their resignation. This is massive stuff. Now, it has been confirmed by various reports that there will be no resignation from Chelsea, but there will be fights in the fans to call their resignations. This is not a problem for Roman Abramovich or Marina Galanskaya. This is solely on Guy Lawrence and Bruce Buck, who's the chairman, who are essentially apparently the driving forces for Chelsea to be within the Super League. A spokesman for Roman Abramovich said that, having spoken extensively to fans and stakeholders, we've always worked with the community and we're not going to do anything that goes against them. We listened and we heard. This is confirmed by Matt Law. Breaking news: Juventus chairman Andrea Agnelli has said that plans for a European Super League can no longer go ahead following the withdrawal of the Premier League clubs. As the pressure over the European Super League grew, with fans gathering outside of Stamford Bridge, Bruce Buck urged Roman Abramovich and the club hierarchy to make moves to withdraw from the project. Roman Abramovich is said to have been blindsided by the strength of the backlash to Sunday's European Super League announcement, and then livid that he had been misinformed about the likely reaction. Abramovich had no idea that there would be such a backlash. Now, here's what I believe has happened. Now, we know Roman, he's the owner of Chelsea Football Club. That's obviously true. But he's, of course, not allowed entry into the UK because he hasn't got a visa. He's been blocked up because he's essentially an oligarch. He's a Russian oligarch, and he's got his alliances and allegiances with Vladimir Putin, who, of course, have got bad relations with the British government. Hence why Roman Abramovich is essentially denied entry into the UK. So as a result, Marina Galanskaya, who's a director of Chelsea, Bruce Buck, who's a chairman of Chelsea, and Guy Lawrence, who's a CEO of Chelsea, have been given the reins to control the operations of Chelsea, to go ahead for Chelsea to be invited and accept the invite to go into the European Super League. Now, of course, he's not the one who signs off it. Roman probably knew about this European Super League. Of course he knew about it, and he probably agreed to it, but he was not involved in terms of, he didn't know probably the full details. He probably didn't sign off it. He probably trusted Marina, Guy Lawrence and Bruce Buck to sign off the signature on the dotted line for this to happen. And so therefore you can't put the full blame. And as a result, as reports are coming out now, Roman was furious with the backlash because he wasn't, essentially made aware from this. So my understanding is he knew about it, but he wasn't given the full details about the situation. Chelsea chairman Bruce Buck ultimately led the Blues' exit from the European Super League, but it was Roman Abramovich's anger that brought the whole house of cards down. Again, you can't not love Roman. Of course, we're angry. We're very angry as fans that we even accepted the invitation, but for Chelsea to be one of the clubs who are apparently not the ones pushing for it, and we were quite the fragile ones alongside Manchester City in it, that we were one of the first clubs to leave, is good news, of course. As it became increasingly clear that many were hostile to the Super League, discussions between Roman Abramovich and his Chelsea board began to focus on the need for a change in the position, of course. This is absolutely major news. Punishments for the Big Six are unlikely. The view at yesterday's Premier League meeting was that fans, staff, players are the victims in this, and the owners and the boardrooms are at fault. Sources at Chelsea insist their European Super League U-turn wasn't prompted by the extraordinary pre-match scenes outside Stamford Bridge, but rather by 48 hours of observing the near universally negative reaction to the Super League announcement. As things stand, Premier League captains meeting called for today to discuss the proposed European Super League will not be going ahead after last night's withdrawal of all 6 English clubs. The potential banishment of the Big Six in the Premier League was seriously considered. Sources from within the Big Six say that speed and strength of government intervention was immensely influential. Now, again, this is absolutely major news. And listen, this is fantastic news. The European Super League is finished. It's been disbanded. The clubs will be returning to UEFA. It's been dismantled. It's been dissected. There's no more European Super League. But a part of me believes this was all a political chess game. This was all done purposely, orchestrated and architected by the likes of Florentino Perez, by Andrea Agnelli, for more essentially bigger portion for the financial distribution. But let me give you guys a snippet. If Chelsea or any of the club within the UEFA that we've always been in within the Champions League, if you win the Champions League, you win approximately 120 to 130 million euros. Just by accepting the invitation of this European Super League, you get 350 million euros. By winning the European Super League, you would have got, and just by winning the actual European Super League, you gain about 500 million euros. So you can see the disparity in the financial rewards of winning the Champions League compared to winning the European Super League. Plus, added to the fact, you would get an annual return of 300 million euros for being part of the founders of this European Super League. So that financial disparity was substantial. And of course, that was a massive incentive for this whole European Super League to be banned in the first place. And they were upset of the new Champions League format that was going to be introduced in 2024 by the, of course, UEFA president as well. Now, essentially what's happened here is, the reason why I'm saying it's a political chess game is they're forcing UEFA's hand to change the regulations, change the format of the Champions League, where they get a bigger portion, a bigger pie, because, as I said, Real Madrid are in £900 million in debt, Barcelona are in £1 billion in debt. You know, these clubs are struggling to stay afloat, and they wanted to close the gap with the Premier League clubs because the Premier League clubs were getting a substantial amount in terms of revenue. The winner of the Serie A earns less revenue from TV money and broadcasting revenue compared to the 20th place team in the Premier League. That is unbelievable. Sheffield United this season will earn more money than Juventus or Inter Milan for winning the Serie A. And that shows you disparity, hence why the incentive of building and essentially constructing this European Super League. That was the main reason for it. And of course, now they've forced UEFA's hand, and UEFA now brought a brand new financial package which is going to suit Real Madrid, Juventus, Chelsea, Man City, PSG, etc., etc. It's going to help more of these bigger clubs financially. So they got their way essentially. What's happened now? They put the European Super League in the cupboard, and they'll use it next time again in the next few years' time. They're going to put it in the cupboard, but I believe they were never going to go through with it. I think it was all about a political chess play. A lot of this is politics. This is club football politics. I think the protests, listen, I'm really proud that Chelsea fans are protesting and they made their voices heard, but I don't think that was the main reason why Chelsea pulled out. I think, as the reports have already said, Chelsea were already going to pull out yesterday morning, even if the fans never protested. So they already seen a backlash on social media, but the protest just gave that extra push, if that makes sense. But as I said, it's all a political chess game. The big clubs, the elite clubs, they got what they wanted. UEFA have essentially changed the financial packages. Everyone's happy now. It looks like there's not even going to be any punishment as well. The European Super League has been dismantled. Everything goes back to how it was. But football won yesterday. Yesterday was a monumental day. Football won. Chelsea won. Chelsea say football once again. That's why I'm so, essentially proud of Chelsea fans for that. But yeah, what do you guys think? Leave me your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. If you did enjoy this video, to smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'll see all of you guys for my next video. Peace.